Hi, everybody. This is Coach Allison back, and we're in week one. It feels so weird to say that. So we have week one, Defy Aging, and we have a circuit. So a standard circuit on the turf, and we have 6 stations. We're going to go through 4 rounds of that, and rounds 1 and 2 are timed one way, and rounds 3 and 4 are timed another way. So rounds 1 and 2 are going to be 35 seconds on, 25 seconds off. So while you are a little bit fresher, we're going to have the smaller rest times, okay? And then rounds 3 and 4, we're going to reverse that. So 25 seconds on and 35 seconds off. So while you're a little more tired, that's when you have your longer rest, okay? And then we'll have a little team builder at the end. We also have, of course, a new warm up and cool down to start this week for the next 2 months. So for January and February as well. So get ready for that as well. Okay, let's do a little review of our stations. So this one is tricky. So you have to really focus. So it's a opposing curl press. And what I mean by that is one arm is curling while the other arm is pressing. So it's a lot of cognitive challenge, a lot of focus. So the pressing arm, we do this press all the time. That movement in and of itself is not new. Okay. We also do a bicep curl frequently. We do this all the time. So that's not new. The tricky thing is doing them at the same time. So the start position for the press is here. The start position for the curl is down there. So we do them at the same time. So if it helps, you can think of both arms raising and lowering at the same time, if that helps. Okay. The good thing is we have 4 rounds this week, so we don't have to worry about changing sides or anything in the middle of this. So whatever side you're starting on, you can just keep doing the same movement for the whole set. Because I think like switching in the middle of this would be really confusing personally. So that is our opposing curl press. Don't overthink it, because I think that might make it trickier, but just set up the one side for the press, set up the other side for the curl, and go. And I don't think it'll be too bad, but it is a little bit tricksy. So that is station 1. Station 2 is a step up to a squat. So we are going to put 2 things kind of together. Another one with a little bit of coordination, not too bad. I want to angle this right so you can kind of see everything I'm doing. So the box is in front of you. You're going to step up, step down. And then when you're down on the floor, we do a squat. So you try to alternate which leg is doing the step up with each rep. So a little bit of focus there, just sort of trying to remember which leg you are stepping up with each time. If you forget and double up, it's not really the end of the world. But what I mean by that is I'm going to start with my left leg up, down, squat. Now my next rep, I'm going to start with my right leg up, down, squat. And we just continue with that left, squat, and right. Okay, so we continue with that pattern again. If you forget and double up with one leg, not the end of the world. Okay, so that is our step up squat for station 2. Next is our core station, a plank variety. So I think most of you are familiar with our ladder, agility ladder, in, out, out steps. Okay, we're going to turn that into our plank this week with that in, out, out. So we're going to do a standard plank. Now, the only caveat with this is there's not a standard knee variety for a plank for this. So we do have an incline option if a standard toe plank is not an option for you. So we're in our plank and we're going to go out, out, in with the feet. Can you see my feet? Yeah. Out, out, in. So notice how my hips are staying low. What we want to avoid is this, with the hips way up here. So we want those hips low. Doing a full standard knee plank with proper form, elbows and toes, is quite challenging. It's quite, it's up there with the intensity. So, and it just does not work on the knees. Trust me. You would think maybe you could put your knees down and kind of step the knees out, in, but it really just doesn't work. I've tried it. So we can definitely do an inclined plank variety. No problem. But again, we still don't want hips too high, so watch out for that. Still want proper form, and we can still take those in, those out, in steps just fine. Your body might shift around a little, and that's totally fine. Okay, so it's another way to add some spice and some variety to our planks. Next station is a single arm farmer's carry. Since we do have the 4 rounds, we're going to do one arm each round. So we end up with 2 rounds on each arm. That way we don't have to worry about switching sides halfway through the set. We almost always do farmer's carries with a kettlebell. Let's do some variety this week and use a dumbbell instead. Now, you might be thinking, what is the difference? You know, the weight's the same, 20-pound kettlebell, 20-pound dumbbell. The difference is really just weight distribution, and so it just feels a little bit different. So it's just a different variety is all. So yes, you're carrying the same weight. It's the same load on your body, on your shoulder, on your core muscles, but just a little variety. So with a kettlebell, it's bottom loaded. So you have that weight pulling straight down. With a dumbbell, it's even distribution on both sides. So there's a little bit of having to kind of balance. So you're going to use the weights, the muscles in your hands, wrists, and forearm a little bit differently. Okay, so that's all. Just a little backstory, a little maybe extra information on that. Anyway, single arm farmer's carry. Once you have your weight, pick it up safely, of course. You just want to sort of level out your shoulders. So maybe do this in front of a mirror so you can kind of see that setup first. So we just want to avoid it pulling the shoulder down. But you also want to avoid overcompensating and shrugging. So level that out. And then your coach will have an area where we're going to do this. And we just walk a nice steady pace. It doesn't have to be super, super slow, like overly cautious, because we're certainly not zipping along going fast. We want to avoid the weight kind of flopping like this. So try to keep it good and controlled. Nice firm grip. Okay, a nice straight, strong arm. We don't have to keep the arm glued to the side, but don't hold it out either. Just whatever is a natural draping down with the arm. Okay, so a dumbbell this week for our single arm farmer's carry. All right, next up is a half kneel single arm row. Now last week we had the half kneel double arm row. We're going to do a single sided row this week just for a little variety. And, oh, sorry, my bad. And we're going to do an underhand. Big difference there. Forgot. So last week we did a neutral grip, palms turned inward. This week we're going to do underhand, so turn the palm up. The side with the knee down is the side you're going to be doing the rowing with. So I'll switch that in a second. I'm using our cable setup, our big cable machine here. Okay, one of these. I think some of our gyms have that on the turf space. If not, a band that we used last week is just fine. You'll want to tie it to the racks or whatever, so you just have the single handle. But either works fine. The only tricky thing with the cables, you might have to be changing weights from one client to the next, and that wastes a little bit of time. But anyway, so the side with the knee down, that's the side you're holding, underhand grip. So flip the fingernails up towards the ceiling. And we do that underhand row. A lot of distance between my shoulder and my ear, so I'm not shrugging upwards like this. I sort of pull my elbow, like I'm trying to pull my elbow back into my, the back of my rib cage. Okay, so kind of tucking it back like this. Do a few more reps. You can just see my chest here kind of comes out, so I'm not allowing it to cave in like this. So I do want you to see the difference between sort of caving in like this and then sort of opening up and chest coming out like this. That is a big difference. And you might be thinking, why am I referencing the chest when this is a back exercise? But it's because when you get your chest out, you are activating your back muscles. And we want to be activating those back muscles. No worries about changing the sides halfway through, because again, we're doing 4 rounds, so we'll do 2 rounds on each side. Our main cardio station, we've talked about this before. Almost all of these exercises are aerobic in their own way, but the cardio focused station is a side to side hop. And I do want us to use something on the floor to have to hop over. So a band, one of the elastic bands with the handles works great. Or a jump rope works great. So just something to have to jump over. So we have something to have to force us to pick up our feet. That's the goal. Anyways, feet kind of stay together and we jump over the band. Okay, you don't have to go that fast. We can do one kind of focus jump at a time. Take your time, reset up and wind up for each jump. That's absolutely fine. Make sure you're landing nice and soft. So you're cushioning that landing on your knees and your joints. If that is a little harsh, maybe for the impact, we can do more of a kind of a gentler. It's a puddle hop. We've done puddle hops before. It's another great option. It is a little gentler, I'd say, but it still is a jump. It's still a hop. So it's still getting that cardio. Yeah, I think that's all I've got for that one. So yeah, that's going to be our main cardio focus station for the workout this week. Okay, in the team builder, it's going to be a lateral medicine ball, toss or pass. So everyone's going to be in a line. This one's really hard for me to demonstrate because I'm by myself. We've done it before, so most of you will know. But everyone's going to be in a line. Pardon me, this might get loud. My earbud's falling out. All facing the same direction. My next partner would be maybe an arm's length out. And we're just going to toss it like this laterally. And then, of course, I would catch it. And so anyway, everyone just keeps catching it and tossing it down the line. Get to the end, toss it the other way. Depends how many people you have. Maybe your coach might say, okay, we're going to go down and back the line 5 times. Or they might just say, let's do this for a minute down and back, how many times it takes. So whatever your coach thinks is appropriate. Yeah, it's really fun. See if you can get down and back as many times without dropping it. And the goal here, just if you're curious, is working a rotation. It's a lot of abs and oblique muscles, a little bit of chest and shoulders. When you catch it soft, and then try to rotate and get a little bit of a pivot with your foot. So we're getting that rotation and getting those core muscles when we're throwing it and letting it go. So that is kind of the purpose. That, and it's really fun. Okay, that's our team builder this week. Okay, that is it. So that's our first workout of 2025. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy the new warm-up and cool-down. So get used to that. It'll be for January and February. See you back in week number 2.